Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Neary, and I have the privilege of being one of Piqua High School's National Honor Society advisors. On December 13, 1922, 8 students called to order the first meeting of the Piqua High School chapter of NHS. Thus, they began a tradition of honoring scholarship, leadership, service, and character that has lasted nearly 100 years. As an English teacher, one of the terms I discuss with my students is oxymoron. If you're not familiar with the term, it describes seemingly contradictory words that have been joined together. For example, icy hot, jumbo shrimp, open secret, Walking Dead. Tonight I would like to briefly discuss an oxymoron that I believe is the epitome of what the National Honor Society is all about: servant leadership. On one hand, the word servant often connotes negative imagery of someone who is forced to perform duties for someone of a higher status. Leadership, in contrast, often suggests power and prestige. While seemingly contradictory, the juncture of these two words is the foundation on which NHS is built. Any greatness you may achieve will not come from a blurb on your college application or resumes. It will not come from the stole you'll wear on graduation day. Instead, it will come from your willingness to humble yourself and serve those around you. It will come from holding yourself accountable to what is right, not what is popular. It will come from approaching each day with gratitude for the opportunities you've been given and for those who have helped you get where you are. If you want to be a leader, you must first be a servant.
There are 4 main requirements to be a member of Piqua's National Honor Society chapter. The first one that most people are familiar with is excellence in scholarship, which is ultimately a 3.6 grade point average or higher. We also focus on leadership, service, and character. All 4 of these items are going to be discussed more in depth by our officers a little bit later. This year we had 28 extraordinary applicants from Piqua High School. The best of the best. It was a very great group of students. Tonight, we are actually going to be able to welcome 20 new members into our ranks. To help us do so, we actually have the help of several distinguished individuals. First, I want to introduce our officers for this year, and if you could hold your applause until the end, we would really appreciate it. Our president this year was Christian Starrett. Our vice president, Mason Darner. Secretary, Dylan Warren, who, by the way, is probably the most organized high school student I have ever met. I want to make a note of that. And our treasurer, Cameron Foster. If you could join me in a round of applause for them. He said I made him blush. Mission accomplished. Wait till I get to the rest of you. I got a lot prepared for tonight. We are also fortunate enough to hear from our high school principal, Mr. Rob Messick, and our guest speaker tonight, Mr. Tom Dunn. At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Messick, our high school principal.
I'd like to welcome all of you here tonight. This is a great event to celebrate these wonderful students. I was talking to Mr. Dunn here a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, I don't get to spend as much time with these students as I would like. You see them in class and say hi to them in the hallway, especially around, was it Thursday when we do the recycling. If you guys don't know me, I love Porter, and then people out in the hallways is kind of like one of my little pet peeves. And then here comes all the NHS people dragging all of the big dumpsters across that piled 40 here. So I chased them around and I was like, NHS! And so it's quite an ordeal. They're great, wonderful kids. I want to also put out a thanks to Nick Neary and Mrs. Downs, Courtney Downs, for putting this event together and running such a wonderful, or being leaders in such a wonderful group. But most importantly, I want to thank you parents for coming out and joining us. This is your hard work right here in front of us, and we get to enjoy that. And we greatly appreciate you, and I want to give you a round of applause. So thank you very much, and once again, welcome to Piqua High School.
Thank you, Mr. Messick. Now, please join me in welcoming our NHS president, Mr. Christian Starrett.
Hello guys, my name is Christian Sterrett. I'm the current president of National Honor Society. Firstly, I would like to congratulate all the newly inducted members of National Honor Society in their outstanding records in scholarship, leadership, service, and character. NHS is one of the biggest honors one could possibly receive. I'm truly honored to stand up here one last time as the president and give the speech I've been so nervous for. I wanted to talk about some lessons I've learned in the past year. So growing up, most people find best friends in like their siblings or their cousins, whereas me, as an only child, I found best friends with my father. As a child all the way to present, my biggest adversity was also my father's biggest adversity. When I was barely 1 year old, my father was diagnosed with IgA, an autoimmune disorder of the kidneys. This was caused by an untreated strep infection. This disease would ultimately affect his living and our family's state of mind. Knowing that this disease would only get worse as time progressed left us all in constant fear. My father, due to his disease, would be left often very exhausted on a daily basis. Since my father couldn't partake in a lot of physical activities, we would often make up the lost time by playing guitar and making music together. In 2017, my father's terrible disease progressed to stage 5 renal failure, the last stage of the disease. His options were very clear: dialysis, a transplant, or death. My father was always a giver. His job as a salesman, he serviced to others and helped business owners grow exceedingly. Asking for a crucial organ like a kidney was very difficult to ask for. So when the news was exposed on Facebook by a close friend, multiple people came forward to donate part of their life so my father could continue to live. Strangers, friends, and close family all stepped up. In April of 2018, my father received a perfect match for a kidney, which ultimately saved his life. He received the gift of continued life from his sister, his only blood sibling. My family is truly blessed by God with this life-saving event. So this emotional roller coaster has taught me to always be kind and considerate to others, because you never know what they could possibly be going through. The act of giving is a concept that every inductee, returning member, and everyone present should adopt as a lifestyle. Doing simple acts of kindness, whether it be opening the door for someone or helping at the local food bank, is what keeps this world healthy. The last thing I've learned is to cherish every moment with my family and my peers, because you never know when it really could be the end. Once again, congratulations to the new inductees of National Honor Society, and remember the principles of scholarship, leadership, service, and character as you continue your successful lives. Thank you. We will now start the induction. Scholarship. William Butler Yeats once said, "Education is not the filling of a bucket, but the lighting of a fire. Scholarship is the eternal quest to better oneself by seeking truth and understanding." A true scholar realizes that big ideas matter, and that he or she can uncover them only through curiosity, effort, and perseverance. Scholarship is about much more than GPAs, ACTs, or air tests. It is a lifelong, passionate dedication to learning.
Service. It is only through our service to others that we find out who we are as individuals. Through the unselfish giving of our time, effort, and talents, we simultaneously improve our communities and ourselves. To serve is to give yourself to your neighbor, even in times when you don't feel like doing so.
Leadership. When we think of leadership, we often think of power. True leadership, however, is not a title, but an attitude. A leader is one who thinks of others first and puts him or herself last. A leader is one who makes others better, even when he or she must make sacrifices. With or without a title, we can lead by embodying the virtues we wish to see in others.
Character. To do good when no one else is watching. To do good for goodness sake. This is character. When confronted by the evils of the world, we are often left with nothing but our own moral compass. It is essential, therefore, that our compass points us in the right direction. Like John Wooden said, be more concerned with your character than your reputation. because your character is who you really are, while your reputation is what others think you are. Danielle Whitney.
All NHS members and inductees, please rise and join me in saying the NHS pledge located on the back of your head. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school, and I will maintain and encourage high standards of scholarship, service, leadership, and character.
Thank you, officers, and thank you, Danielle. Our guest speaker tonight is Mr. Tom Dunn. He was a 1972 graduate of Covington High School, where he was a member of the National Honor Society, lettered in 4 sports, and was a 2-time All-Ohio basketball player. He is also a charter member of the Covington High School Athletic Hall of Fame and still holds the scoring records for a single game and season, as well as a career in boys basketball at Covington. That's good to know. He graduated with honors from Wittenberg University, where he earned a degree in education, specializing in special education. He was a 4-year letter winner in basketball, earning All-American honors his senior year, and is also a member of the Wittenberg Athletic Hall of Honor. After graduating from Wittenberg, he coached basketball and taught special education. All told, he spent 33 years in Troy as a teacher, coach, principal, and superintendent. He retired on August 1st, 2018, after 8 years as superintendent of the Miami County ESC and 42 years in education. If you want to go ahead and step up, Mr. Dunn, we're really happy to have you here today.
Thank you. I don't do podiums very well. By the way, I was 6'8" when I was in college. So if you do shrink when you get older. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you all for being inducted into the National Honor Society. To me, this is the student achievement program that has stayed true to what education is all about. We've had a national hysteria about trying to quantify everything that we do as human beings by putting numbers and statistics to it. And whoever has been in charge of the National Honor Society has realized that being successful is so much more than a grade point average or some other number that we assign to you. We've already listened to people talk about scholarship, we've talked about leadership and character and service to others, and these things are every bit as important. Every successful person on earth has achieved because of those particular attributes. So I'm thrilled that the National Honor Society has not forgotten them. So 48 years ago, I was inducted into the National Honor Society, 48 years ago. And when Mr. Neary asked me to speak to you all this evening, I said, look, I know no one has looked at the program and circled this as their ideal evening for me to stand up and talk to you. Okay, I understand that. So my goal was to hopefully give you something that you can take with you tonight and use for the rest of your life. If I do that, even if you walk out of the building tonight and you have something that I've said, then I've been successful. So the first thing I did was to think back 48 years as to what inspiring message I heard on my induction evening. And I got nothing. I don't remember if we had a speaker. I don't remember what the message was, if it was, if we did. There was nothing about that evening that stood out to me. So my goal then is to stand up here and hopefully in 48 years, we did, in 48 years that you will say, hey, I remember when this old guy, I can't remember his name, stood in front of me and told me this, and gosh darn it, he was right. That's my goal for this evening. So when I was 16 years old and I was inducted into the National Honor Society, I was a typical 16-year-old kid. I was just thrilled that I evidently had gotten a grade point average up enough that I could get into the National Honor Society. I'm sure they talked about the other 3 legs to the school, but I don't remember that. I don't remember having those conversations. What I discovered is that those things are the most important attributes that you will take forward to you or with you. All of you probably have a better grade point average than I did. Most of you probably have a better IQ than I do right now. So that's a challenge to talk to you. But here's what you don't have. You don't have 48 years of life that I've lived since I received my National Honor Society pin. We got a pin back in the day. You guys get pin? I don't know what pin is. But we received a pin. So here's some of the things, I want to tell you some of the things that I've learned in the ensuing 48 years with the hopes that you'll remember some of them and maybe I can save you some aggravation. First of all, I had no idea what my grade point average was in high school. I had to start with 3 because I was in NHS. But other than that, I had no idea what it was. And the reason I had no idea what it was is once I put it on my application, my student application to get into Wittenberg University, I've never had a discussion about my grade point average ever again. It hasn't mattered. That's not just parents' opinion. It's really, really important that you continue to maintain a good grade point average because it may determine whether or not you get into the university of your choice. But what I'm here to tell you is it's not the end-all be-all of who you're going to become. What I learned was that the other factors play so much more an important role in your future success. Your leadership, your character, your service to others. Those are the things that really matter. Here's what else matters, is that it's not what you learn, it's that you learn. It's that you can take all of your skills, whether it's dedication, you all have God-given ability, or you would be sitting here this evening. You also obviously have dedication. You also have the ability to set goals. You must be able to prioritize. You must be flexible, because it humors me now when I hear old people say that, well, what you're learning today won't even exist 10 years from now. Well, duh. Do you realize that one of the ways I got my GPA I had to take a typing class. For the old people, we took typing class, we had to sit, both feet on the floor, hands on home row, and did this thing all day long. That's how we learned how to type. Okay? Now, I write articles for the Troy Daily News now, and here's how I type. With my iPad, sitting on the exercise bike at Anytime Fitness. In other words, nothing that I learned except for home row, and know where the letters are. Nothing that I learned do I use to this day. There's a lesson. Similarly, I remember when I was in high school, first rich kid in Covington, there was only about 2 of them, brought the first battery-powered calculator to school. It was about the size of a small SUV. And it had 4 functions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And the guy who brought it was a hero to all of us because we used to have to use a slider. He actually had a calculator that would work for us. But amazingly, even though they didn't exist until I was in high school, I can do all kinds of social media. I can work with any kind of computer, any kind of software, any kind of hardware that I need to because I learned how to learn. So things change constantly. What you're learning today won't matter 10 years from now. But what will matter are all the skills that you have taken to become successful, and you'll continue to apply them for the rest of your lives. That's what's important. Let's talk leadership for a minute. And I'd like to say a disclaimer. I, as an old person, am ashamed of what old people in our nation's capital pass off as leadership nowadays. Leadership is a very positive role that you play in people's lives. It's not about disparaging people. It's not about calling people names. It's not about trying to gain power from somebody else or being mean or nasty. Christians said, just be nice to people because you don't know what it's all about, what they're going through. That's what leadership is all about. So what we're watching on the national stage has nothing to do with leadership. As a matter of fact, you'll find greater leaders, Mr. Messick, board office staff. I know those people, and they have all the class and dignity in the world, and they lead you the way it's supposed to be, where you're supposed to be led. So please keep that in mind. We talk about leadership. I was very fortunate to be around incredible leaders during my lifetime, and every single one of them made an impact on who I became because they were selfless, they were humble, they put the benefit of the masses ahead of their own individual needs, and they taught us who were under their leadership how to do the same things. Leadership's hard. You have to have the commitment, and you have to be courageous. But it's also one of the greatest advantages anybody can ever give you. It's also one of the greatest compliments. Leadership isn't something you just take on your own. You earn leadership from other people. To me, there's nothing better, nothing more honorable than a group of people that you hang out with choosing you to be their leader. There's an incredible amount of responsibility that comes from that. And so, what I've learned, I've been in leadership roles through most of my high school and later life. What I've learned is people crave leadership. If you're the kind of person who will put other people's needs ahead of your own, then they will flock to you because all they want is somebody to lead them in the right direction. Ronald Reagan said, and I'm paraphrasing, basically, he said, the greatest leaders are not the people who do the greatest things. They get other people to do the greatest things. That's what leaders do. They also are not particularly concerned about who gets the credit for something that goes right. Sometimes this comes from age. I know as a young person it was much more important for me to get credit for great ideas I had, and I had like 3. I wanted credit for that. But the older you get, you realize that if you're a true leader, if your organization does great things, then that's a reflection of you, and that's where you get your pride from, is that you are leading a group of people to do the right thing. Character. Unfortunately, when you get to be my age, you spend a lot of time in funeral homes. Matter of fact, I'm going to one tomorrow. And we have conversations about people's lives. And never a single time has a conversation in a funeral home been about a person's grade point average, or the car they drove, or the house they live in, or any of those superficial things that we worry about nowadays, or the kind of clothes they wear. None of those things matter. What the conversations always circle around is the kind of person they were, what they did for other people, were they nice, did they have character, did they treat people the way they wanted to be treated, all those intrinsic factors that we should all strive to be. As I think Christensen said, character, one of the folks said, character is who you are when nobody's watching. So I've been in leadership roles for a great part of my life. If you're in a leadership role, here's what I can guarantee you will happen. The people who are under you, who are following you, are professional boss watchers or professional leader watchers. They are going to watch what you do and find out if what you do is what you say. And if it is, then you have the character that's necessary for them to follow you. And if it is, then they will do whatever it is that you ask them to do. That's key. It takes no time at all for you to destroy your reputation with somebody as far as character is concerned. I've known people who have spent a lifetime building up high-quality character and have made one terrible mistake, and it's gone for the rest of their lives. It's something you need to be on top of every day of your life. If character matters to you, then be that way whether people are watching or not. In service, look, once we're gone, the only thing that's left behind is your reputation. And have you served other people? Have you tried to make other people's lives better? That's as simple as it gets. Whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's somebody who needs something from you, if you decide to serve them, if you make their lives better, then you have accomplished the goal. I had one lesson I learned in the last year that I'm going to just close with, and I want to challenge you to do something with it. So I've often said that my college basketball career was the most impactful experience of my life because I learned what it meant to compete. I learned what it meant to expect more out of myself than I ever thought was possible. I learned how to take criticism big time, and I also learned how to get better. Two people who were a part of my life at that time were my head basketball coach, who happens to still be alive and I'm very close to, and my assistant basketball coach, who after he left Wittenberg became the head basketball coach at Ohio University. He was associate basketball coach at North Carolina State, and then was a basketball coach at Western Carolina University. Last March, he retired from basketball after 38 years, I believe. And I sent him a text, and I said, Coach, it's been an honor for me to have played for you. You've been a great friend. You've changed my life, and I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me. And I'm sure that he received hundreds of such texts. And within a couple hours, I received a text back from him saying, hey, he appreciated everything we've been through together. And his last 3 words in his text were, love you, Coach. Love you, Coach. 2 months later, he died unexpectedly. He was only 5 years older than me. So we were really close, not only as coach and player, but also as friends, quite frankly. 2 months later, after he retired, he dropped in. There's a lesson here. None of you have gotten here on your own. All of us have been shaped by other people. I thank God every day that my last conversation with Coach Hunter was thanking him for what he meant to me and the impact he had on my life. And I thank God that what I received back from him was 3 words, love you, Coach. It's never too late to let people know how it impacted your life. As a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, I sent a letter to my old English teacher from high school, who was one tough woman. But she taught us so much about writing, and I thought I'd never given her the proper thanks for what she meant to my life. I write the newspaper now because of her. And so I sat down and just dropped her a card and let her know how important she was. You should do that. There have been multiple people who have impacted your lives. You should let them know without a shadow of a doubt that they've been important to you. It takes 2 minutes, and the payback is humongous. You should let your parents know that as well. But let people outside your parents realize what they meant to your life. I promised I would keep this short. I'm really happy for all of you. I hope you all have great success, whatever you choose to do. I hope you remember one thing that I said tonight, just one thing. And if you only remember one thing, thank somebody. And treat everybody the way you want to be treated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Mr. Messick will now help us with the presentation of membership. Inductees, when you hear your name called, please come forward to receive your certificate and take your place on the stage. Please, audience, save your applause until all names have been called. Cassie Arnett. Cassie is involved in Science Olympiad and tennis, while also earning both honor roll and top 100. Cassie's favorite classes are ASL and chemistry. She plans to attend Bowling Green and major in chemistry.
Elise Blaine. Elise is actively involved in soccer, where she's also the captain. She's also involved in Young Life. Her favorite classes include U.S. history and chemistry. Elise is planning to major in education at The Ohio State University. I was told I had to say that correctly.
Gracie Clark. Gracie plays soccer, swims, and works on the yearbook. She has earned honor roll and top 100, made the States for History Day, and was selected for the RILA Leadership Camp. Her favorite subjects are science and language arts, where she plans to attend college at present.
Cameron Darner. Cameron has earned both top 100 and honor roll while being actively involved in basketball, Key Club, Spanish Club, and Interact Club. Cam plans to either study dentistry, he wants to be a dentist, or study forensics in college. And possibly one of Cameron's biggest accomplishments is putting up with his older brother, Mason.
Danielle Dead. Danielle is a varsity letter winner in both cross country and track, in addition to being involved in Big Brothers Big Sisters and Harry Potter Club. Her favorite subjects include chemistry, social studies, and English. Danielle plans to major in pharmacology.
Stephen Dolder. Stephen plays the trumpet for the marching band, jazz band, symphonic band, and show choir combo, and is also on the tennis team. He has twice earned a spot in the top 100. His favorite subjects are jazz band and chemistry, and he plans on studying both music and medicine after high school.
Tyler Ferraro. Tyler currently works at A.M. Leonard while also being a part of the golf team and Big Brothers Big Sisters. He's also a member of Piqua High School's honor roll. Tyler's favorite subject is history. She plans to earn a degree in business.
Lexi Gastelou. Lexi participates in Model UN, student government, and varsity tennis. She has also earned top 100 honors and received the top score on the Ohio Americanism test. Her favorite subjects are biology and biochemistry, and she plans to attend medical school after high school.
Track, basketball, and CISV. She has earned top 100 honors and was selected to attend RILA and Hobie leadership camps. Her favorite subjects are math and robotics. She plans on attending a four-year college to become an architectural engineer.
For the record, if one kid was going to trip, it was going to be Catherine. We just talked about this. Decker Jackson, no pressure, there are steps. Decker is involved in golf and a variety of musical endeavors at PHS. He's earned several honors, including Top 100, Honor Roll, and Best Male Soloist at numerous competitions. His favorite classes are choir and American history. He plans to major in business and music performance, and if you didn't realize, Decker was the one playing the piano when you came in this evening.
Jordan Carn. Jordan is a member of both the soccer and track teams in addition to show choir. She's earned top 100 and honor roll and enjoys her math and science classes, especially chemistry. Jordan plans to attend UP to major in elementary education.
Keenan Kelly. Keenan is an active member of the Spanish Club and plays guitar for jazz band and show choir. He's earned top 100 and honor roll recognition all 3 years at PHS. His favorite subjects are language arts and Spanish, and he plans on going to college to become an English teacher.
Haley Kroger. Haley is a member of the American Sign Language Club and plays golf. She was featured in the district art show and was selected to attend Hobie leadership camp. Her favorite subject is science, and she plans on attending college to become a medical examiner.
Milena Langston. Milena is an active member of the marching and symphonic bands. She's earned honor roll and top 100 recognition and made it to state for History Day. Her favorite subject is science, and she plans on attending the Ohio State University to study forensics.
Colin Moore. Colin is actively involved in marching band, Big Road, Big Sisters, and Clubhouse. He's earned top 100 in honor roll in addition to serving as a Hobie ambassador. Colin enjoys math and science and plans to earn a degree in either business or a computer field.
Anna Rohrbaugh. Anna is a member of both marching and symphonic band. Her favorite subjects are English and science, and she plans on majoring in education at Bowling Green State University.
Devin Seaver. Devin participates in basketball and student council and was recognized for leadership in attending RILA. He's been student of the quarter twice this year and was recognized for top 100. His favorite classes are pre-calculus and pre-AP chemistry, and after high school he plans on attending a four-year university.
Michael Schweitzer. Mike is involved in swimming and likes to spend his time building and working on crafts. He's been recognized on the honor roll. His favorite subjects are math and science, and he plans on attending a four-year college to study programming.
Chase Vaughn. Chase is involved in just about everything PHS has to offer, including varsity soccer, Big Brothers Big Sisters, student council, link leaders, leadership academy, interact club, and Model UN. He's accomplished this while also earning a spot on the honor roll. Chase enjoys math and science and plans to attend a four-year college after graduation.
Brooklyn Wright. Brooklyn is involved in varsity golf and ASL club. She has earned top 100. Brooklyn's favorite classes are American Sign Language and art. She plans to attend college with aspirations of becoming a psychologist. Okay. Please join us in a round of applause for the Piqua High School NHS induction class of 2019. Members and inductees, none of this would be possible without the parents and grandparents, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, and any other person in the audience today that has supported you through every failure and success up to this point. If you could at this time stand and give them the thanks that they also deserve.
Before we go, this is now time I would like to present outstanding individuals. NHS members graduating this year were asked to apply for the scholarship. And qualifying students had to submit an application, write an essay, and most of all, demonstrate exemplary standing in the qualities of scholarship, leadership, service, and character.
The Piqua chapter offers at least one scholarship for senior members each year. Due to this year's applicant pool being as strong as it was, we actually are going to be able to give 2 scholarships this year. I'm going to go off script just for a second because Mr. Neary and I have worked with these students for several years, both in National Honor Society, in our classrooms, in the community, etc. And although we're only giving 2 scholarships this evening, I want our seniors that applied for the scholarship just to stand very quickly to acknowledge everything they've done in the program the last year or 2 years. Just real honestly, you guys have done a great job. So, I'll clap for you. I know. The group of students that was just standing before you have logged either in the last year or 2 years as a collective group over 350 community service hours. That's just what they've turned into me. Every single one of them has failed to do that at least once. I couldn't even imagine the GPA that this group brings to the table, the leadership, the organizations. National Honor Society is supposed to represent the best of the best. And based on what you have heard this evening, what you've seen from these students that you know, either as well as we do, possibly better, because you have been around them a little bit longer than Mr. Neary and I have, this was a ridiculously difficult decision. Ultimately, the 2 that Mr. Neary and I selected have regularly volunteered throughout the entire Piqua community and the district. They've worked in just about, if not every school building at some point over the course of their National Honor Society time. They also give up Saturdays on a regular basis for any event that needs volunteers, whether we ask them to or not. So with that being said, this year's recipients are Ethan Jevinen and Destiny Strunk. Congratulations, Ethan, Destiny. Congratulations, our new inductees. And honestly, a huge thank you to our current and now new members. This has been a phenomenal year, and we are really grateful for everything that you all have done, not only for this organization, but for Piqua High School, Piqua City Schools, the Piqua community. You guys are awesome. We are so grateful to be your advisors. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, boyfriends, girlfriends, and anybody else that gave up their Wednesday night to be here, we are going to bring the rest of our members up on stage. If you want to get group pictures, this is the only time we will have them all together. It's kind of like farm animals. Once they start moving, you can't really herd them together. After that, we have some cookies, bottled water out in the lobby if you want more pictures. Mr. Neary dressed very nicely for this evening, and I washed my hair today. With that, thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to seeing more of you in the future.